Oh, that's sad. How come that didn't work?
It didn't?
In California, riddled with crime and gangs, they've decided to come up with a new plan to help fight all that.
All these people are missing out.
Do you need my assistance? Do you need my assistance? Guys! Let's all work out this aggression in some hot yoga sessions.
Welcome to the Barry Beat Podcast, live from Fly on the Wall Productions, Main Street, Barry, Vermont. With us tonight, we've got Raylene.
Good evening.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. Couldn't resist playing that video before we start off.
Why not? I mean, you got to have a little bit of fun, right?
Farva put that video together, and I'm like, oh, got to do it. Got to put it out.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, my. You excited about everything? I don't know.
Everything?
I don't know.
I don't know about everything, but
Not everything?
sure. I'm excited about some things.
You excited about something? You excited about the packet?
Not really. Well, no, I'm not. I wouldn't say that I'm excited, but I was pleased to see that there's going to be some sort of recognition or a little bit of recognition for Rowdy for his 35 years of service with the city.
Yes,
Rowdy Parker.
that is correct. So that is a resolution that we've got. Do you want to give some history? Because you know Rowdy.
I do know him. I've known him for many years. He's been a family friend, just an all-around really great guy. He's just a really good guy. And I don't know what else to say about him other than that, other than he's driven the Zamboni buggy thing for too many years. But
Is he a Zamboni?
bitch?
Probably not.
No.
No.
Well, he would.
That would be a lot of
You know
fun.
what? He would be okay if I said that though, because that's the kind of guy that Rowdy is. He's funny like
He's a
that.
good guy.
He's a good guy. Like we can joke around with Rowdy
Yeah.
like that. He loves to go mudding. He has a Jeep. He takes it off roading.
Really?
He started out way back when with the Donahue boys and Rowdy Parker and all of them. They used to take their Toyota trucks and go mud them. And take them out through the woods, probably places that they weren't supposed to take them back then. And just, he's just a really good guy. Loves to help with the race cars. And
Well, now that he's retiring, you should get him on the Barry Beat. Maybe we could have him on to give some commentary.
that would be great.
That would be.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah.
So
Although he's fairly quiet.
oh, is he?
He's a fairly quiet person. Yeah.
Maybe we
I don't
can-
know how he got away with hanging out with all of us fools all those years because, we're a little more rowdy than Rowdy.
Well, let me read the resolution because I think that it's important. When we have 35 years.
Yeah, that's huge.
for one of our city employees. So it's resolution 2023-3, and it's a resolution recognizing the service of Rowdy Parker on the occasion of his retirement after more than 35 years of service to the city of Barre. Whereas Rowdy Parker was hired as a maintenance worker with the city of Barre in July 1987 and will be retiring on April 7th, 2023 as the BOR foreperson after more than 35 years of dedicated service to the Civic Center facilities, city parks, and recreation areas. And whereas Rowdy has been a legend at the BOR, responsible for creating untold sheets of ice, making thousands of Zamboni runs, assisting with special event setups, and maintaining the pool filtration systems, demonstrating his vast knowledge base and value to the city. And whereas over his 35 plus year career, he was a friendly face to many recreational skaters, figure skaters, and hockey teams, many of whom now come to skate with their children on the best and fastest ice in central Vermont. And whereas Rowdy took great pride in his work. I made a mistake.
That's okay.
Whereas the community's affection for Rowdy was most recently on display at Gutterson Fieldhouse in Burlington, Vermont, where a cutout of his friendly face was plastered over the front of the Zamboni during the girls' hockey division one state championship game won by the Spalding High School.
That's awesome.
And whereas Rowdy took great pride in his work preparing facilities for use by residents, and he played an integral role in upgrades to the BOR swimming pool, parks, and playgrounds, helping to ensure that generations to come will enjoy these recreational areas. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Barre City Council wishes Rowdy Parker the very best in his retirement and does hereby declare Friday, April 7th, 2023 to be Rowdy Parker Appreciation Day, to express to Rowdy our most profound appreciation and sincere thank you for his 35 plus years of dedicated service, and wish him the very best in his retirement. And furthermore, be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be placed in the permanent records of the city of Barre, and that the copy be transmitted to Rowdy Parker by order of the city council this 28th day of March 2023. So
That's
we're going to be
awesome.
doing a nice resolution for him, which is pretty awesome.
I think so. Well deserved.
It
well
is.
deserved.
He's a good
like I said,
guy.
he's just a great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that resolution. There's another one. We'll get to that resolution, the next resolution. So, I mean, we'll go through the consent agenda. Authorize the contract with Televate for dispatch and staffing training study. We had gotten the Televate study back, and now we're getting, training.
Training. You said that with such enthusiasm. Training.
It's very. I'm very enthusiastic about it.
You are.
No, but that's okay. I will say I'm enthusiastic about our TIF district.
Oh.
In case people aren't familiar what a TIF district is, it's a tax increment financing. What it does is we did it back in 2012, 2011, somewhere around there. It takes a snapshot of what your downtown looks like, or within the district that's outlined, and sets the assessment there. And anything incremental above that, we can use for infrastructure to help with development. We've done quite a bit with it, and we still have the ability to do more, provided we could get council to support any projects. And we're going to be authorizing White and Burke, who helped us formulate they helped us to actually create our plan. And it's $20,000 for the $1.7 million from the $1 million merchant row bond. They will assist in taking advantage of the development tool that we have. And Carol and others went to the State House to try to get that lobbied. I know that I think Peter Anthony was involved in it. I want to say Ann Cummings and Acacia Ram.
Is that what one of the other counselors went with her to the State House not long ago? Or no, it was the city manager or went with her for something.
Probably.
Was that the TIF also?
I'm sure that's the case. I can't really remember.
I believe it was.
Then on the consent agenda, we also have ratify the application for the fall 2022 Transportation Alternatives Grant. Mm-hmm. Are you excited about that? Ecstatic.
Yes, like I can't even compose myself.
Well,
Can you tell?
It's gonna create walkable, bikeable routes to school project. The walkable, bikeable routes to school project is a grant opportunity made to make improvements on South Main Street and it'll be South Main Street, so from like City Hall down to the school, with extensions up to to Air Street School, mm-hmm. and then extensions up to the elementary school. Mm-hmm. Project cost for engineering and design, $60,000. The grant request is $48,000, and so that would mean that we have a $12,000 match. Mm-hmm. And then that will also do pedestrian, obviously, improvements. It will do things like offset parking, bulb outs, which everybody loves. You love the bulb outs?
Everybody loves those.
Those
are the most. So those are the most. One of the most complained about things.
Well, guess what? You're going to get more
that have happened lately. And I think the biggest one is the one on Hill Street that I hear the most bitching about. Them. Yeah, everybody really hates that one.
Yeah. But in defense, the people that are probably really, really hate them are probably people that are commuting through Barre. No?
Probably. Or people that are just driving too fast too, and so they hate that the one on Hill Street, you really have to pay attention. Yes. The one on Hill Street, you have to be paying attention. And you cannot whip around that easily. So,
Connie says it's safer now, and it is.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree that something needed to change right there, and that was a good...
It's a traffic calming.
Yeah, it really is.
So I haven't seen elevated crosswalks, but that's going to be part of...
I believe that there are some on Air Street. What's the matter?
My nephew. I think that was my nephew. I might be wrong. No, wait a minute. No, he's working. It's not him. Never mind. They're playing Pokemon out there.
Oh.
Yeah, the elevated crosswalks, traffic markings, and speed control and other traffic calming measures is part of this grant. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. More bulb outs, too. Again, everybody loves them.
Well, if it keeps... it does work. What I really wish is that we immediately, out of the gate, as soon as we can, start painting lines. The crosswalks are next to, they might as well be gone in most of the locations on Main Street. Just down here by Emsley, I went to cross the street the other day. I was standing at the crosswalk, which you could see like the first band of it right next to the sidewalk. The rest was gone. No one would stop. And somebody actually yelled at me and told me to get on a effing crosswalk, which I was, but it was not there. And so a lot of them, if you look, they're pretty much gone. And the yellow lines are gone. The lanes up by the Cornerstone, if you're coming, you can't tell any of those lanes at all. Totally worn.
It's hard. I mean, they don't last that long. Mm-mm. So that's the reason why, although Bill instituted, like, they grind down part of the pavement to try to make it so at least you know that they're there. Mm-hmm. But I don't think you can do that. That's the stop bars. So I don't think you can do it with lines for sidewalks because of ADA compliance.
And of course, and now they're using paint that's supposedly more friendly to the environment, this, that, and the other, but it doesn't stick to the road, and it basically is a waste.
And
So it would be nice to figure out a way to make that happen.
And Connie says it's a yearly problem, and it is. It's absolutely a yearly problem. So it's just like the potholes, right? We all know that it comes annually. Unfortunately, it comes around like town meeting day.
Yeah.
And as people are driving up to vote,
I
they're
almost
hitting the
feel like
potholes.
the striping is a little bit more dangerous than the
potholes.
Yeah, I really do.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a safety hazard. The potholes definitely affect your car.
And I wish that we have more lights at our crosswalks too. When you get down towards North Barre Manor, no lighting.
Yeah, there was actually a couple years ago when they were talking about putting up the Beckley Street buildings up there for Effecto. That was a concern of some constituents, that there was going to be an increase in traffic down there. I shouldn't say I never, but I very rarely turn out going left from Beckley Hill. But if you are, you might as well wait a bit, because it does take a little bit longer, and there is a little bit more traffic on
But
that.
I mean lighting as far as crossing the road. You can't see it right by Yipes. You cannot see at that crosswalk right there.
Yep.
You cannot see down by the North Barre Manor, the one that goes from the manor over to the old Hill Martin, right there where the bus stop is. I mean, it's pitch black.
Yeah.
It's not good. We need lights down there.
Send me an email. I'll forward it off to our new DPW person.
Yeah. I mean, I know it all costs money, and it all may be some...
I can't remember his first name, and I feel terrible about it.
Brian
Baker. Yep. There we go. All right. So authorized planned purchase of two public works vehicles. So this is a preemptive. Thanks, Joe. Sorry about that. This is a preemptive purchase because the concern is that if council has to vote on it, we're going to miss our window of opportunity due to the market volatility. One can no longer pass inspection, one of the vehicles that we have, and the other one is scheduled to be replaced next year. So Nicholas wants authorization to do that. We've already lost out on 2 potential buys due to the need for authorization. So he's saying, let's do a pre-auth. So that's going to be
sounds reasonable to me.
Absolutely. And then we're going to accept the FY24 municipal planning grant, which is $18,000 that's coming from ACCD, which you were part of that conversation, right? Because that was in the planning commission.
I believe, yes.
Yes. Grant to update the 2012
yes.
Main Street to Summer Street plan. So, and there's a $7,000 match on that one. And let's shift gears to Tracy. So she's down she's down in Boston, I believe, at Main Street America, and she's trying to find ways. Well, she's going down there because it's going down there to learn creative things to do for our Main Street.
Above and beyond what she already does.
Correct.
Yeah. I heard that the mayor was going down there as well.
Correct.
I saw that he had a post. Actually, I think it was last week. I saw him Tuesday, I believe, at the Mixer at Emsley. Yeah. And then a couple of days later, he had a post that was coffee with the mayor or whatever. And he mentioned that he would be down there and at no expense to the city.
Well, I mean, yes, no direct expense from the city. He's going down there for ACCD, the grant that we were just getting for the Main Street. So the state of Vermont would be paying for that, not Barre City.
Oh, okay.
We don't have a.
I thought he meant like that he wasn't. So that that clears it up better. That it is paid for, just a little bit indirectly, but technically,
yes. Technically, it is paid for. I mean, if you get down to that level, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, it's because he works in, like I said, ACCD, so they go down there, and Tracy's down there chumming around and getting to meet. Guess there was like 20 people from Vermont.
That's awesome.
Like
That's
majority
awesome.
of them were from ACCD.
That's awesome, though. That's great.
It is. It is great.
And I bet you she's teaching them a thing or two. Because let's face it, as far as I'm concerned, we've got the best here.
Oh, absolutely. Tracy is amazing. She did tell me that she's got one
lucky.
director that absolutely loves her down there.
That's good. That's good.
And
can we tell that director that she can't have Tracy?
No, you cannot have Tracy. Tracy is ours.
That's right.
And we will fight for her.
Yes, we will.
And we can get pretty scrappy. We'll cut you.
Yeah.
We'll cut you.
Yes.
We'll cut you. I don't have anything to cut you with here.
It's okay. You don't need it.
I'm surprised that JD, on all this stuff here, he doesn't have like some sort of knife.
Oh, believe me, there's probably one somewhere.
We'll cut you with our words.
That's right.
Alice says there's
that's great. That's awesome.
Yep. Alice says there are really great crosswalk signs that have a button that turns on a yellow blinker when someone plans to cross the street. The lights are solar powered, really safe, and remind people to wear something white after dark. I barely missed an all black dressed pedestrian the other night. I always wear black because it's slimming because I'm so thin.
For God's... Well, if you're so thin, you wouldn't want to wear things that are slimming.
True,
darling.
True. Yeah, I was surprised by that too, Connie. I thought the same thing. I'm like, do they work when the lights go out? But maybe I don't. Okay, so Connie wrote, do they work? ? And I actually don't think they do, because I've looked out when the city has lost power. So I don't think our lights are solar powered. I think they are. I think they're connected to the grid.
Yeah, they are.
I might be wrong, but
I think there are a couple. So I believe the one down by the fire station that lights up and blinks when a fire truck is going to leave the station, I believe. Maybe it's not a solar panel, but it looks as though that has some sort of little apparatus above the sign, on the top of the sign. And maybe it's just so it can send signal back and forth to the fire station. I don't know, but it almost looks like a solar panel on top of that one. So I think that there are some, and I know some of those digital speed signs that you guys put out on the side streets are.
So solar. Joe Aldsworth, who, thank you for watching, Joe. The street lights are not solar, so you would definitely know that.
Yeah. I
don't know what the solar panels are for. I wonder if those are. I don't know what those are. But either way, they're not solar.
No, on that one sign. I've only seen them on that one sign, and it's the one down by the fire station, right by the Dollar General. There's if you're headed up Main Street, it's just past Willie Street. There's a sign that will light up if there's a fire truck leaving the building. That looks like it has a solar panel on top of it. There's like some sort of little apparatus on top of that sign that lights up. Have you ever noticed that? It blinks when the trucks are leaving.
There's something weird going on with our stream.
There is.
I just want you to know. Yeah, it literally just dropped 8 people. Just pointing that out there.
I don't know. I still see.
Oh, odd. So anyway, moving on. Then we've got going on to the resolution honoring the Spalding High School girls hockey team on the occasion of winning the 2022 through 2023 State Division I championship. And I do have that resolution as well. It's pretty lengthy. So I am terrible at reading, so I apologize to everybody that's watching. You're just going to have to deal with it. Barre City Resolution number 2023-02, a resolution honoring the Spalding High School girls hockey team for winning the Division I state championship. Whereas the Spalding High School Crimson Tide girls hockey team achieved excellence on Wednesday, March 8th, 2023, which, as a side note, if you go to the Barre City Community fan page, you can watch them coming back from their
Yes,
their
you
big
can see
game
it on Aired Out,
and
too.
Aired Out too.
Yeah, we both were recording at the
Yes,
same time that
we
night.
were. The team achieved excellence on Wednesday, March 8th, 2023, when they defeated Burlington Colchester by a score of 4-1 to win the Division I state championship at Gutterson Fieldhouse in Burlington, Vermont, bringing great joy and pride to the city of Barre. And whereas the victory was a total team effort, with the first 2 goals of the game scored by 8th graders Amelia Healy and Peyton LaPearl, and seniors Rebecca McKelvey and Hannah King added tallies to support a 13-save performance by goalie Raina Long. And whereas the dominating victory in the state championship game put an exclamation mark on a dominating 21-01 undefeated season for the Tide, during which they outscored opponents 117
Yeah,
to 19.
isn't that crazy?
Wow. And posted 10 shoutouts. And whereas Spalding continued its regular season dominance into the playoffs, convincingly winning both matches, outscoring opponents 11-1, and posting 1 shoutout. And whereas the championship season was fitting end for the team's graduating seniors, Rebecca McKelvey, I messed it up. I'm so sorry, Rebecca. Molly Parker, Maddie Seaton. I wonder if that's any relation to Matt Seaton.
I don't know.
I'm sorry. Squirrel. Hannah King, Raina Long, who went 59-4-2 since their freshman year. And whereas the team was led by head coach Dave Lawrence and assistant coaches Brian Wilkin, Ashley Pelkey, and Becca Simons. It might be Simmons. Sorry, again, terrible. Who have shown dedication and service to Spalding High School athletic program and guided the team that brought the first Division I title of any kind to Spalding since 2010. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council and the members of the council commend the Spalding High School girls hockey team upon its Division I state championship and congratulates number 2, Avery Burke, number 3, Ruby Harrington, number 5, Gracie Lunt, number 6, Peyton LaPearl, number 7, Amelia Healy, number 9, Hannah King, number 10, Aubrey Tremblay, number 11, Kayla Moulton, number 12, Raylene Pelletier, number 13, Bellarina Fontana, number 14, Molly Parker, number 16, Lanny Thayer, number 17, Ellie Parker, number 19, Allison French, number 22, Rebecca McKelvey, number 23, Lily Mayo, number 30, Maddie Seaton, and number 33, Raina Long. Head coach Dave Lawrence, assistant coaches Brian Wilkin, Ashley Pilkey, and Vicus Simmons, team managers Maria Saldi and Amira Pelletier. And be it further resolved that the City Council extends to each of the members of the 2022-2023 Spalding High School girls hockey team our sincerest wishes for their continued success academically and athletically, and be it furthermore resolved that a copy of this resolution be placed in the permanent records of the city of Barre, and that the copy be transmitted to the members of the team and the coaching staff in Spalding High School by order of the City Council this 28th day of March 2023. And that's pretty awesome. And Joe did say that that's Matt Seaton's daughter.
That's
so
pretty awesome.
it
Congratulations
really is.
to all of them.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's awesome. And
Absolutely.
it was great to be down here when they came through too. It was pretty exciting to have them all do that.
If you want to watch that, go right on over to Aired Out or the Barre City Community fan page.
Yeah, check it out. It was pretty awesome.
So moving on, another pretty awesome thing that we have. Barre City is actually a heart safe community, which is something that we actually got that designation back in 2015.
I was going to say, it's been quite a while, right?
It has. And people probably have seen it. That sign that says heart safe. So there's going to be a presentation and acceptance of an AED, which is an automatic external defibrillator. So we'll be getting that, and we're actually one of the only 3 municipalities, I believe, with that designation of heart safe community, which again, they will have that sign as well. And I think I was down in Northfield recently, and I saw the sign, and I double checked with Joe, and he said that that's correct. It is up there in Northfield. And he also said that Stowe was one that had it, but we're obviously better.
Maybe we could have Joe or Joe come in and explain to people what this is, where it is, and why this came about.
Joe, if you want to come on and talk about it, you are more than welcome to come on the Barre Beat and chat about it. I'm also dropping in the links to the PDF, and so anyway, we'll get designation of lead organization, and I don't know what all this stuff means, but we'll have Joe in and he can talk about it. At least 2 CPR AED sessions are conducted in the community each month. Local and law enforcement agency dispatch trained personnel equipped with AEDs, possible cardiac arrest. All police officers in the community are AED. Sorry, I'm actually thinking about. I'm thinking about Jody right now.
I know. That's what I was wondering, if that's what you were thinking. Yeah.
Anyway, advanced life support is dispatched in appropriate emergencies, providers, and defibrillation capable, and have 12 lead EKG and maintain certification. I'm pretty sure that City Hall has one there, Connie. AEDs are placed in the community with appropriate trained personnel. Advanced life support is dispatched to appropriate emergency providers and are defibrillation capable. Have an ongoing process to evaluate and improve the chain of survival and overall cardiovascular health in the community. Fire departments have CPR and AED training. I should probably be healthier, to be part of our heart safe. Now I feel terrible. But
now, do you know how to do all these things?
I do not. I do not know how to do any of these.
You should know that too.
I probably should.
I hope that next we become, and I know this is not anybody's, or a lot of people, isn't their favorite thing to hear, but I hope we also soon can become Narcan safe community where it is readily available for people to understand how to administer, and that it can be gotten so that people can carry it. I carry it. I have some in my purse. I have some in my car, and I have some at home. And it's super easy to use. And if somebody's not overdosing and they are having a heart attack and you use it on them, it won't hurt them. So if you ever question it, you can still use it. But on the heels of you talking about that, I hope that we also can maybe bring that into the community more as well.
So Joe says it is now. I assume
Narcan?
Oh, you know what? He might be responding to Connie's.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Right. Because it's Narcan. It's not. It is, but it isn't. You can go to places like the Turning Point, things like that, and get it, but it's not. Yeah.
Yeah. So then we also have the conversation about the second round application for the ARPA Community Innovation Fund, which we've already located $250,000 to Downstreet, $2 million to the capital improvement. Is Narcan over the counter? Connie wanted to know.
So no, it's not. So you can get it from your physician, but they'll ask a boatload of questions. But you can go to Turning Point, Central Vermont Substance Abuse, and there are a couple of other locations.
She said it's not yet. I misread her comment. She was saying that it's not read there yet.
Yeah.
But
I wish it was, but it's not. And
I'm not really familiar too much with Narcan.
You can seek it out. You know, it is available some places, but. And with some prescriptions that your physician gives you, like if you were to get in a really bad accident or have certain surgeries, and say your doctor prescribed you Vicodin to take for a few days, a lot of the pharmacies will give you Narcan with your prescription. For just in case.
Back to the approval. So there was $200,000 set aside there for the Community Innovation Fund. So part of the requirements that we're going to have is mixed funding. So it can't be just money supplied by the city. So there's a couple items on there that, you they're asking for all the money, and we're not going to be doing that. We also have a setup where under $5,000, which we have none currently, but under $5,000, 100% funding. 5,000 to 20,000, it's 75, 20,000 to 50,000, 67, and then over 50,000, 50% of funding would be allowed. No operational or reoccurring expenses, and they have to demonstrate that there's broad community impact. So, doing a I don't think we have any, but like where it only affects like a small segment of like 5 people, we're not gonna support that. Projects must be underway by September 30th, 2024, and completed by September 30th by 2026. And approved funding will be provided on a reimbursement basis. Applicants must provide completion of reports to council within 3 months of completion of the funding. Are you ready for the different people that applied?
Yes.
All right. So we got CVTV. They applied for $300,000. Meals on Wheels, they applied for $200,000. Barre Community Baseball and Softball applied for $150,000. Barre Opera House, this is for the lights, $111,000. Spalding High School Foundation for a study. I don't have the actual details here, sadly. It just has the organization. But there's $40,000. Studio Place Arts, $37,000. And by the way, I'm rounding up / down depending on the amount. Rainbow Bridge, $25,000. CV Adult Basic Education, $20,000. Sage Mountain, $20,000. Barre Historical Society, $20,000. Circle, which is the previously known as the Battered Women's Shelter. They applied for $18,000. Barre Historical Society again applied for $15,000 for a different item. And then the Barre Area Senior Center applied for $12,000. So that'll be not an easy.
No, I was going to say there's some tough choices.
There's some really, I mean, I look at that and the first thing that comes to my mind, $12,000 for the Barre Area Senior Center. Sorry, pretty simple. That's going to be a yes.
Yeah,
I mean, I know that
agree.
it's 75%, but I just feel like that's like, I don't know. You don't mess with the seniors.
No, you don't. That's kind of like messing with a veteran. You don't do that either.
No, you don't mess with the veterans either. But it's such a small amount.
It is.
$12,000. I mean, it's just such a small amount. And
a small amount for something that is very meaningful. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
I hope that,
We'll see how that goes.
But there are some hard choices there.
So Connie, I think, and unfortunately I did not write down the specifics on these. The Barre Community Baseball and Softball is improvements on the Bond Field, which is going to be a sticking point for city councilors because where is the Bond Field located?
Right. It's in Barrytown.
Barrytown.
But it's heavily used by the people in the city, and Barrytown, even though it's in Barrytown, they allow city residents to use that. They didn't say, no, you can't come here because you're from the city.
Right.
It's literally right on the line.
Yeah.
And I believe they're asking Barrytown for some money as well.
Right.
So, yeah. I know it's a sticking point, but really it shouldn't be. Because when we talk about schools and sports and how we want everybody to be one and stop the craziness.
In defense, when it comes to the municipality, I mean, there is a difference. Like for school system, you're right. No difference. But for the municipality, which now I'm getting off. Although technically we probably should be one municipality. And just like that, 5 people drop off.
Right.
But there is a difference because it is our money, the city's money. It's not our Barry's money.
Right, but they're asking the town to help too.
Correct.
So they're asking both municipalities to kind of split the difference and get this done for all of our kids.
Conversation.
Right.
Yeah. And Joe says standing order from the Commissioner of Health has been in effect since August 2016. The standing order allows any pharmacy to sell naloxone, which is Narcan, to any person who wants to have it without a prescription. The order allows insurers and Medicaid to cover the cost so people do not have to pay out of pocket. The current order is effective through August 2023. So, and Alice writes the berries. And yes, that's correct. The Barre.
That's right.
It's Barre.
That's right.
It's Barre. Let's be honest. It's Barre.
05641.
Then on the topic or conversation is the Green Mountain Transit Authority. We're going to be placed on their agenda for next month, April 18th.
To ask them why they're taking money from the city and not providing the service that they promised?
Correct. That's
See, I'd be worried more about that than I was the $12,000 to the bond field.
Yeah.
Just saying.
It was like $150K to the bond field.
Well, yeah. But just saying. That's,
Yeah. So
that's a pretty shitty deal with GMT.
I will say, I just got to say that. So on their last meeting, we kind of like all showed up and like crashed their agenda.
Mm-hmm.
I was there. Michael was there. Teddy was there. Amel was there. Our state rep, Jonathan Williams, was there. Our city manager was there.
So they know that you mean business now.
And I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I felt a little slighted.
You did. They didn't care that you were there?
Yeah, it was. I mean, they made it. Made the comment that, hey, we got business to do, and I get it. And we were trying to get on their agenda, in that meeting. And technically, yes. Should have we done it? Probably not. They should not have put us on the agenda, but they could have. And given the fact there was 4 counselors, 1 state rep, a city manager, you might want to consider just saying, actually we're going to do that. But they did not. So, and I felt a little dismissed, which I was not impressed with. In fact,
well,
I may or may not have called Teddy immediately after, and I'm like, and Nicholas too. I called Nicholas too. I was angry because if it was just me and I was dismissed on there, I would be like, yeah, sure, I get it, right? Mm-hmm. You had a quorum of a council,
right?
And
you still
municipality.
are just like, yeah.
You might wanna show some deference. Mm-hmm. But nevertheless, it didn't happen. I will say that I've been giving it some like thought over, and I think what I need to do is I need to go ride the bus and just see, because I don't know how much it's utilized.
Just do it on a day that you don't have to be on time. Just going to say that right now.
Yeah. Well,
that's a huge part of the problem is that they all of a sudden are running way behind, or they're not doing that route anymore, or they just don't have the staff to do that route that day. Constant changes, things like that. It's part of the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. They should call Giroux General Transport to see if maybe they could hook up with some employees.
Be a good idea.
Through them.
They have their CDLs, but do they have their CDLs for bus?
They do endorsements for buses as well up there. So,
who is a sponsor of the Aired Out podcast?
They are.
That's a good point. So I posted on the Barre City Community fan page asking for some comments, and I didn't really get any.
Crickets.
So it was crickets, which it kind of like makes me feel like, are we like, I don't know. I'm a little concerned about that. I really, it'll be interesting to see what they come back at us with. Either way, it's $38,000 that we as the city pay. Mm-hmm. And if we were paying for those bus routes, which we were, I mean, technically we were contributing to have those bus routes, then we should probably get them. I don't know what other communities pay, but I assume that we're pretty high in what we pay, but I might be wrong. So, moving on to the next topic of conversation.
The Wheelock building?
The Wheelock building.
I could tell by that gleam in your eye.
But you want to hear something really funny?
You were going to say the Wheelock building.
Wheelock building. You want to hear something funny, though?
What?
I just noticed it.
What?
I think Nicholas called it the Wheelock House. Dun, dun, dun.
Well,
in the agenda, it looks like it's the Wheelock House.
Yeah.
I got a feeling it's the Wheelock house. We need to do a study on this, Raylene. I gotta check this out.
Now you got to check out.
I gotta
and
check it
see
out.
if that's what it was
If he
initially
did
called.
If he did that, I will give him. I'm gonna give. Oh, he's referring to it as the Wheelock house.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh man. I can't wait to text him about that. It's the Wheelock building, folks. The Wheelock building. Just like it's not the big naked guy. It's called Youth Triumphant Memorial. Names are important. So,
Okay.
no, obviously I'm just razzing him.
I know.
I mean, he will laugh about it. The Wheelock building is actually the law office building. His house, Mr. Wheelock's house, was right next door, and he wanted his building, his law office there, and he built it and then like used it for like 2-3 years and unfortunately passed away.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're going to be talking about that. Isn't that exciting?
So, what are we talking about? The possibilities of the partnerships offer being accepted, or has there been other offers, or are they saying we're gonna wait it out and see if we get a better offer? Do you know what the conversation is? Do we know what it's going to be yet?
So that's going to be the conversation tomorrow. And Linda, you're correct. It isn't for set routes. She posted on there saying, I don't think the funding is for set number of bus routes. They, like everyone else, are doing the best they can, being with short help. Right. And I'm feeling like that's probably the case. Well, they've said that, right? They've said that they're shorthanded, and the contention that people are saying is that, well, Stowe gets all these bus routes.
Right. And I think part of the problem too is that they came to city council not all that long ago and made some statements about their projection and where they thought, where they intended to be, what they had currently hired for staffing, and what they thought they would have up and running by a certain date. And that has well passed, and they still have not turned things around, but are kind of not wanting to talk about when or whys. And so kind of you're just holding them to the fire to at least explain the situation.
Yeah. I'm not, I don't know, like after posting on the fan page, I don't know how widespread of a problem this is within the city. And I just don't know. I really wanted people to tell their stories about it, and they didn't. So I was very disappointed by that. So if you are affected by the route changes, I would really like to hear the story.
Right, love to hear about it.
Yeah.
So you know how to go forward.
Absolutely. So we will be discussing the next steps for the Wheelock building, and I can't tell you how many, if any. Well, we know the partnership submitted one, right? That's one that
and we
all
know that the partnership's lease expires when?
May. I believe it's May. Yeah,
So
2 months before Heritage Festival. Yep.
Right. So
Tracy will have
there's
to be
really
finding a place
not all
2
that
months
much
before
time
Heritage.
to get this figured out, whether or not she remains or.
Yeah, and it's going to be really stressful for the partnership on this.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Everybody knows where I stand on this. I tried to get counselors elected based on this issue, and apparently, I don't know what happened, but
The school board. The school budget happened. That's what happened.
That's true. Yeah, that's probably true. So we'll have the conversation on what next to do. I think that all the, if I'm a big proponent of letting it all out there. So if there are other offers. I would like to see that in public if there are, and would like to see the partnerships completely out there for consumption. But
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah. It's I don't know. It'll be a shame to see it go.
I agree. Yeah, so moving right on, and I'll just say that elections have consequences.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, people come up and say what they want to say. Anyway, whatever. Moving on to the committee reset. The comment is we have too many committees, and we do.
Yes,
we have
do.
like 20 committees, and 19 of them were not 19, like 10 of them I feel were added in the last 2 years. That's
a bit excessive.
Little excessive.
So the hope is to consolidate them, correct? Is there
Correct.
I mean, they're not saying we're going to totally do away with some.
Correct.
They're just going to consolidate them.
So I'm just going to touch base on what Linda said. So she said that it needs to be sold to the highest bidder. Look at all offers. It needs so much investment to bring it up to code.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you, Linda, that
Linda
based
who
on
are we
Linda
talking
Kuchar.
to? Oh, okay. Hi, Linda.
So I think that I'm not going to continue this conversation any longer because I don't know what is public and what is not.
Right.
Because the thing, one of the gifts and yet curses about having the podcast, having friends that talk to me, is that you hear things, and then you can't talk about some of them, like you hear things and you're like, well, I can't really talk about.
Well, as
that.
a counselor, you can't talk about some of them anyways.
Correct.
Because
if I was
business.
right, if I wasn't, it's yeah.
But we know who made the offer already.
Well, we know that the partnership made an offer, so
Right.
we'll see if there's anything else out there, and
And that was in the Times Argus, and it
Correct.
explained the outline of the offer
yeah. So folks can go to the Times Argus website
and read the outline
read
of the
that.
offer. And
Yep.
and I think that will let people know that the upgrades that it needs, it will get.
Correct. So back to the committee reset, and we're going to be combining the Transportation Advisory Committee with Path, Routes, and Trails committees to the Transport and Public Works Committee. I was wondering where you were going with that, Connie.
What?
She
You
asked,
keep getting
"Isn't it
sidetracked,
going to the
but-
mayor's group," and I'm like, wait a minute. And she was like, "No, the ex-mayor's group. Sorry." So the Tom had designed the partnership deal that he had helped them create that. I don't think he's being part of that because he wants to, push it forward. So, because it's a good thing. So anyway, I'm glad that you clarified that, because I was like, are you talking about a group that,
Right.
that I shall not name?
Right. No, definitely not that group. But yes, the ex-mayor,
So,
and then
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So combine.
Maybe
so
we'll be our mayor again someday.
We can only hope. Combine the cemetery and parks, community garden, and tree stewardship communities to a cemetery outdoor recreation and conservation committee. So I will say that for the majority of that, great. But with the cemetery, that's going to be a hard sell for me. I think they've been a committee as that for decades. And decades, and before they were actually a commission, which was statute. So I'm definitely not going to be overly excited about that change. Then another change would be put the Energy Committee, which has no members, into the Planning Commission, which is fine. There's no members in there anyway. Put the American and Disabilities Act Committee, which has no members, into the D&E Committee, and consider the later merger of Charter and Board of Health. So consider merging the Charter, Board of Health, and Animal Control Committee as 3-member body. Okay. I'm like, I know it was a, Connie had made the comment that she said, you don't listen to the cemetery. And I'm like, I know, because of the dog issue. And I had put it out there, and then like council was like, no. So I was like, okay, fine, whatever. But yes, thank you, Connie, for clarifying that. So consider putting the Board of Health and the Animal Control Committee together and create that as one, which I'm fine with because I'm on the Animal Control Committee. Hopefully I would still be on it if they did that. I don't know. The Cow Pasture Committee has stated that they do not want to be separated or combined. The Homelessness Task Force also wants to remain untouched. And I know that I have talked to Giuliano Ceccanelli about the cemetery committee, and based on the conversation that we had, he was not, I mean, he would do whatever we tell
he's
him
just
to
not
do.
overly excited about it.
Correct. Which I completely understand. But here's a question for you. What do you think about this? I think we should completely make the D&E thing like its own entity by itself, not under the auspices of the city. This way they don't have to take minutes. They don't have to do the
I
video.
thought that already existed. Ooh, you're asking for trouble right here.
I know. But here's the thing though. Then they can make the rules, because the D&E committee has stated that they don't want anybody that disagrees with them in the committee. Specifically William.
You're killing me.
I mean, it's not inaccurate. It's not inaccurate. You okay, Raylene? It's not inaccurate. It really isn't.
I'm trying so hard.
It's not inaccurate. They have mentioned that they want to have an application process so that they can weed out people like William.
Oh, I'm trying so hard.
Pretty much have said that. So, that's...
You are trying to get me in trouble.
I do not talk because I don't want to have to...
You are just trying. You egg me on.
I know.
And then you go... Then your eyes get big as saucers when I say dumb shit like that already exists. They have Barre values. So we're just switch from D&E committee to Barre values, and we're all done, right? There, poof. Just like that.
So it's a legitimate comment, though. Like,
I know.
The idea of, and the same thing with the Homelessness Task Force. Does it have to be under the auspices of the city? And that's because when you're under the auspices of the city, you have to do notes.
It shouldn't be.
You have to do the Zoom meetings. You have to warn them and everything else. And you have to take the members that are given to you. You don't have an option. And it's not necessarily a bad idea. And those committees could be similar to the Matheson Playground Committee, they're very, very active, and they bring things to city council all the time. So the only difference is they don't have to have warnings. They don't have to do all that stuff. They can choose who they want on the committees. So all of them. I mean, I'm thinking about the Homelessness Task Force.
Right, all of them.
The
and the only thing, if it's going to
honestly, you could probably do that with the cow pasture committee. And, I mean, what was the other one?
But if it's still going to exist in some form, I would like to see that the one committee break up and have one person from the current committee, one person sit on each of the committees, like be injected into the committees that remain, to bring a little bit of the diversity and equity awareness to each committee.
Or we could jump on to the Ideal Project, which is a state-funded thing and, you know, has been kind of like, you know, pretty much ignored because we're moving on to the approval of the strategic plan. And that's pretty much it for the agenda tomorrow night. Wow, it is going to be a really long meeting.
I think it's going to be longer. I mean, let's face it, the last couple of months, the meetings have been pretty short and sweet, hour and a half about.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's going to be the way tomorrow is. There's a lot there.
It's going to be long, which
not as long as the school board meeting was. What time did you get out? 11?
It was 11 o'clock.
What time does it start? Like 6?
6.
Yeah. That's a little bit much.
That's like really long. That's 5 hours. I didn't think about that. That was 5 hours.
Uh-huh.
It was 5 hours.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah, that's craziness. That's craziness. But it will be a longer meeting than what has been happening for a while, and you guys haven't had a meeting in a couple of weeks. So now, are you done the bi-weekly stuff? Do you think you'll have a meeting next week? Is the schedule changing?
If we're having a meeting next week, we probably are. I feel like we are. I know that we do have a school board meeting this week, and we're going to be talking about the budget. I'm just going to post into the comments. Here's the real question, basically, is 5% or 6%? That's really what the question is going to be. You know, I think that there's some things that we can do, but ultimately it's, you know, the 5 or 6%. Which one?
Do we know yet where the vote's going to happen?
Oh,
the revote?
We can talk about that. So just so folks know, May 9th, I think that's the day that is the Barre Town vote. And when we're going to do the revote for the school board or school budget, that's going to be on, I believe, May 9th. It's the second
Do we know where
Tuesday.
yet? Is it going to be at the Labor Hall?
It's going to be at the Labor Hall based on the information that I have. So folks, just pay attention to this information that comes out.
Yes.
Because it's not normal for Barre City. And I was very, very clear on Thursday night that this is voter suppression. And in my mind, it's voter suppression in Barre City.
Because when you change location, the turnout is not the same.
Correct.
Because people are like homing pigeons. They go to where they know.
Correct. And somebody might go to the Barre auditorium and get there and be like, oh, it's not here? Ugh, forget it. And then leave. That's voter suppression. And
hopefully not, though. Let's cross our fingers. We'll try to get the info. We'll pump it as hard as we can. We'll have people up there with signs the day of.
That's a good idea.
You know, saying right at the bottom of the hill, saying, nope, take a left right here and cut over to Granite Street.
Not everybody knows where the old Labor Hall is.
Right. Follow the balloons, and we'll do from the bottom of Auditorium Hill down the street, you know.
That's not a bad idea at all.
We'll make sure that people know.
It's just, it frustrates me. It really
it
does
is frustrating,
make me angry.
And it just means that we have more work to do.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
Yeah. That's a good idea though, putting up the balloons and having people follow them. It just makes me really angry that we're doing that, cuz like I said, I mean, you know, people that have lived here for a long time know where the old Labor Hall is. But let me ask you, how many times have you been in the old labor hall?
Oh gosh, twice maybe in my whole life.
Yep.
Really, I'm over there a lot now because of the bakery behind the labor hall, but probably twice in my whole life I've been in there.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I've been there maybe 4 times, and 2 of those times were city-related functions, right? For the voting, for one, when we had the gas leak, and for a pie contest that Tim Bolton and I were, and I think Steve McKenzie were judges. They were meat pies. Very yummy. But yeah, so I am not thrilled about that. I'm actually very angry. Yeah. So
we'll just have lots of work to
what?
do. We just got to make sure that we do our best.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's all I got. You have anything?
I don't.
All right. Should we leave off on Farva's? No, probably not. We've already done that. I won't do it again.
Well, you can, just for people who didn't see it.
This is true.
We're gonna
do the video with
and say
with
goodnight
Farva.
Right now. We'll say goodnight and
We'll say
we'll play you
goodnight
out with
now.
the video.
And then we'll end the show with Farva's video on hugs and hot yoga.
Which really, that's what we have coming if we don't. Yeah.
All right, Raylene.
Yeah.
You have a lovely evening. Thank you for coming. And thank you, everybody, for watching the Barry Beat podcast live from Fly on the Wall Productions, Main Street, Barry, Vermont. With that, here's the video.
In California, riddled with crime and gangs, they've decided to come up with a new plan to help fight all that.
Do you need my assistance? Do you need my assistance? Guys! Let's all work out this aggression in some hot yoga sessions. Right. Come on, you